Hi, good morning, children. So, welcome back to the lesson of globe. Globe, latitudes and longitudes. Latitudes and longitudes. Last day, we were going through the globe, its axis, the imaginary lines that are drawn by humans to study more about globe. Okay? So, first of all, we must know that globe is not Earth. So, what is globe? Globe is a model of Earth to study about what are there on the surface of the Earth, about places and time. We are specifying places and time for locating a place or for knowing a time on the surface of the Earth. So, globe is a miniature model of Earth. For locating, we are utilizing another material. What's that? Map. Map is drawn on a flat surface, whereas globe is drawn on a model, on a board. We are marking or we are covering or wrapping this world. So, what are there on the globe? Yes, in the globe we could see oceans and continents, land and water. So, in the last class we were specifying an area of certain imaginary lines that are drawn by the humans, by the students or by the teachers or those who want to know more about globe. We purposefully we are drawing certain imaginary lines. And these lines may be horizontal lines or vertical lines. That's what discussed in the last class. In the horizontal line, there is a major line. There is a central line. That central line is called what? Can you tell me the answer? Yes, what is a central horizontal line is called what? With 0 degree? Yes, it is central latitude, that is equator. It may be like this. Yes. And can you see stand here? This stand is called what? Axis. Yes. This is also not there. On the actual surface of the earth, there is no axis. But for studying or for placing this earth, we are using this axis. So this is very important. 0 degree horizontal line is called, what is that? Equator. Yes. Equator is the 0 degree horizontal lines. These horizontal lines or imaginary horizontal lines that we are drawing on the surface of the globe is called what? Latitudes. So we can say the latitudes as parallels of latitudes. This is the main latitude or this is central latitude. Like this. According to this, either in the northern side or in the southern side, there will be many latitudes you could see. All these are parallels of latitudes. So, these parallels of latitudes, the main latitude is equator with 0 degree, and there are on the north part, there are other latitudes also. Yes. Here is one latitude. Here is another latitude. Here on the polar area, you may know what is polar area. Yes, there are two poles on the surface of the earth. There is the north pole on the north end or north edge and the south pole in the south end or in the southern edge. This is south pole, this is north pole. So all these are parallel lines. All these parallel lines or horizontal lines are called what? Parallels of latitude that we were touching yesterday. And there are another type of lines also. And basically, before going to that area, you must know that this central latitudes can divide the total earth into two hemispheres, two halves. That is northern half and southern half. Northern half and southern half. In this northern hemisphere, all the latitudes are measured as a positive degree. Suppose here is 30 degree, here is 60 degree, and last one it is 90 degree like that. Okay, and here also minus 30 degree, minus 60 degree, like that. Minus in the form of minus we are marking in the southern area. So basically, this equator with a 0 degree latitude can divide the total Earth into two parts, northern hemisphere and southern hemisphere. Hemisphere, northern hemisphere, and tell me next one, southern hemisphere. Yes. These are the two halves that is seen, or that the equator is dividing the total Earth into two. And again, like these parallels of latitude, there are vertical longitudes also. So we can start with the central longitude. You know, the central longitudes are actually touching the two polar regions, two polar edges, two polar ends. Here it is, in northern part there is north pole, and southern part there is southern pole. So when we are drawing this imaginary line like this central imaginary longitude with the same degree, which degree? 0 degree is called central meridian or prime meridian. Listen very carefully. The central meridian or longitude is called, longitude with a 0 degree can be called as what, central meridian or prime meridian. Yes. Prime meridian with 0 degree touching these two polar region, namely North Pole and South Pole, can also divide the total Earth into two halves. Which are the two halves? Can you imagine? Yes, this meridian, this central meridian can divide the total Earth into this meridian and this meridian. Which is this direction? Yes, this is western direction and this is eastern direction. So we can conclude that central meridian can divide the total Earth into western hemisphere and eastern hemisphere. Got it? Yes, western hemisphere and eastern hemisphere. Which one is dividing the total into western and eastern hemisphere? Yes, the central longitude, that is prime meridian. Yes, western and eastern hemisphere. Western and eastern hemisphere. And parallels of that means apart from this central longitude, there are many other longitudes also. But all these longitudes will be assembling in 2 points. Can you imagine which are that 2 points? Yes, it is North Pole on the northern part or northern edge, or South Pole in the southernmost point. Southmost there is South Pole, northmost point there is North Pole. All these meridians, there may be all these meridians may be going like this. Listen very carefully. Yes, all these are meridians. Will be touching to polar region, that is North Pole on the northern side and the South Pole in the southern direction. Got it? So totally we can conclude that this Earth is the model of, globe is the model of the Earth. On this globe, we are drawing certain lines. Not simply we are drawing lines, we are drawing these lines to study more about the places. more about the time. So, these lines may be horizontal or vertical. All the horizontal parallels are called parallels of latitudes, and these vertical lines which are touching the North Pole and South Pole can be called meridians of longitude. Tell me, meridians of longitude. And next we are going to which is the central meridian and which is the central latitude. Central latitude is the equator with a 0 degree, which can divide the total earth into two hemispheres, namely northern hemisphere and southern hemisphere. Central longitude or prime meridian can again divide this total earth into two hemispheres, western hemisphere and eastern hemisphere. Got it? Then you may be confused why these imaginary lines are drawn on the earth. Simply not for troubling you. There is a well-defined intention behind drawing these lines. Why we are drawing these lines? These lines are drawn for locating the places, to know where a place is. For example, when we want to go or when we want to travel to an unknown place, we are searching in the Google map, right? Yes, the Google can produce us what, how can we reach there, which are the roads, which are the important landmarks, etc., etc. All the information like this. Through this map, we could easily identify where is that particular place is situating. We can mark easily. You know that marking can be termed as what? Locating. Yes, we can locate the places easily and we could understand what will be the time there. So for marking these areas or for locating these places or regions and to know about the time, we are using parallels of latitudes and meridians of longitude. Got it? So there we could see certain connecting points, interjunctions we could see. These parallels of latitudes and meridians of longitudes may assemble or may be touching in a peculiar area. This area we could see where is our nation is situating, where is a peculiar place is situating, like that locating we can easily understand. This is called grid. What is grid? Grid is the parallels of latitudes and meridians of longitude that are marked or that are drawn on the surface of the earth. This is very important. What is grid? Yes, parallels of latitudes and meridians of longitudes that are seen on the surface of the globe. Please just remember one thing, not on the surface of the earth. On the real earth there is no such lines. We are drawing lines to study more. Okay, all these lines can be together called what? Grid. Tell me once again, grid. Yes. And we are already touching all by when we were touching the four type of hemisphere. One is made by the central latitude called equator. They are northern hemisphere and southern hemisphere. And another one is caused or occurred in the presence of what? This is central meridian or 0 degree meridian, primary basic, yes, basic meridian, which can divide the total earth into two hemispheres, namely western hemisphere and the eastern hemisphere. Moving to the eastern part, there will be positives, numbers will be the degree. And moving to the western side, that is the left side, there will be, yes, which, how we are measuring as negatives. So, okay, so for example, when India is almost the center part of this area, yes, sometimes it may be here. So we could see, not here, yes, almost this part India will be situated, the southern part of India. So we could say that India is in the northern hemisphere and the eastern hemisphere. Got it? India is situating or India can be located in the northern hemisphere and the eastern hemisphere. You know, this prime meridian has another name. You know, this prime meridian is passing through a well-known country in the world, that is through England. This line can be called Greenwich line. Tell me, Greenwich line. It's the name of the place there. It's Greenwich line. This line can be called the Greenwich line. This Greenwich line or prime meridian can divide the total earth into eastern hemisphere and western hemisphere. Okay, now let's check what are the heat zones of the globe. Heat zones. Learning about the heat zones of a country, heat zones on the surface of the earth or on the globe, we have, this is must. This central latitude is must. What is the name of the central latitude? Equator. How much degree please? 0 degree. 0 degree latitude. What is there on the northern part? What is there on the southern part? According to this, we can divide the total into many heat zones or heat areas, heat zones. Which are the important heat zones? We know that this equator with 0 degree parallel of latitude is situating on the central part of the earth. So sunlight can easily reach here. So this area will be so hot. So around this equator there will be unbearable hot or more hot will be there. So here is one latitude, one important latitude with 23.5 degree north latitude. How much degree north latitude? 23.5 degree north latitude. Listen very carefully. 23.5 degree NL means positive 23.5 degree north latitude. And on vice versa, or on the contrary, or on the next side, opposite side, there is another latitude parallel to this one, that is 23.5 degree south latitude. It will be minus 23. All the latitudes above equator will be positives, but all the latitudes below equator or in the southern part of equator will be negative. So negative 23.5 degree latitude. Tell me, it will be north or south? It will be N or S. Correct. It is south. So listen very carefully. 23.5 degree north latitude and minus 23.5 degree south latitude. These are very important latitudes. And this area will be so hot. More heat will be experienced by the animals and plants. And there is a peculiar name for these latitudes. Let's discuss that. 23.5 degree north latitude is named as Tropic of Cancer. Tell me, Tropic of Cancer. This is called Tropic of Cancer. And again, on the opposite side, 23.5 degree minus 23.5 degree south latitude is called Tropic of Capricorn. Tropic of Capricorn. Tropic of Cancer, 23.5 degree north latitude. Tropic of Cancer, minus 23.5 degree south latitude. You know, this area will experience a lot of heat because the sun rays that is coming from this sun, it can reach on this area very easily or directly. So this area is called as a peculiar zone. This zone is called what you know? Heat zone, that is torrid zone. Utter heat will be the torrid zone. First zone is torrid zone. Now let's move to another zone. Moving to the northern part in the northern hemisphere and moving to the southern part in the southern hemisphere, the quantity of heat will be decreasing. Quantity of heat will be decreasing. Here is one important latitude, that is 66.5 degree north latitude. That means 66.5 degree north latitude. This latitude is called what you know? Arctic Circle. Tell me, Arctic Circle, 66.5 degree. This can be called what is Arctic Circle. And on the contrary or on the opposite side, there is Antarctic Circle. Tell me how much degree? Yes, it is 66.5 degree south latitude. 66.5 degree. South latitude, you know. In the south, it is marked as negative. So listen once more. 66.5 degree north latitude can be termed as Arctic Circle, and on the next side, on the opposite side, minus 66, listen me, minus 66.5 degree south latitude can be termed as what? Antarctic Circle. Tell me that name, Antarctic Circle. Antarctic Circle. You know, this area, that is in between Tropic of Cancer and Arctic Circle in the northern hemisphere and Tropic of Capricorn and Antarctic Circle in the southern hemisphere, the temperature will be comparatively low. There will be temperature. But comparing to this torrid zone, that is 23.5 degree north and minus 23.5 degree south latitude, comparing to this torrid zone, this temperature, the heat, the quantity of heat will be less in this area. So this area is called what you know? Temperate zone. Listen very carefully. What is it named as? Temperate zones. Number 2, temperate zone. How can we explain this area? Yes. Moving to the northern part after Tropic of Cancer and below Arctic Circle with 66.5 degree. Moving to the southern part after minus 23.5 degree north latitude, that is, south latitude, that is Tropic of Capricorn, and before the minus 66.5 degree south latitude, that is Antarctic Circle, the temperature will be comparatively low, not very low, comparatively low. This comparatively medium temperature, bearable temperature, temperate area can be called what? Called what? Temperate zone. So temperate zone, there will be 2 zones. One is in the northern hemisphere, one will be in the southern hemisphere. Okay, got it? Yes. So in the temperate zone, can you tell me where will be the high speed of this or high degree of temperature will be there? Yes, high degree of temperature will be comparatively there in the torrid zone. The last zone is called frigid zone. Fridge, you know fridge? Yes, so cold area, that is the polar area. Above Antarctic Circle on the north temperature and below Antarctic Circle in the south hemisphere is called torrid zone. What will be that? Torrid zone means that is unbearable cold will be there, unbearable. So you all are requested to ask me doubts in case of you. I will be clearing all your doubts. So here it is torrid zone, temperate zone, and frigid zone. Okay, let me conclude this video now. Thank you so much for hearing me. Goodbye.